everyone, my name is Eric Hopkins, aka JEL. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, if you saw Transformers Rise of the Beast, this should not come as a huge shock to you, but apparently at CinemaCon this week, Paramount has been making most of the big announcements this week. Actually, there's been a few you know, lower end level news when it comes to movies, but Paramount came out swinging and they have officially announced that the Transformers G.I. Joe crossover movie has officially been announced. During the 80s, Hasbro treated the G.I. Joe and Transformers toy lines like two separate, completely franchises. Uh, Although their respective animated series hinted that they shared the same universe. Now the crossover is finally going to happen and take place on the big screen. Via Slash Film, Paramount formally announced the Transformers and G.I. Joe crossover movie at CinemaCon. The news isn't too surprising given that G.I. Joe was referenced at the end of Rise of the Beasts, but it's unclear if the new film will build on the continuity of the Rise of the Beasts or if it will be a fresh start for both franchises. I don't see why it would be a fresh start. It sounds like it'll pick up right where the last one left off. Steven Spielberg will produce the crossover movie, which doesn't currently have a release date or a director. But yeah, I mean, as a 90s kid or 80s 90s child here, GI Joe and Transformers were a big part of my childhood. And for me, I mean, yes, the GI Joe movies have not been that well done yet, but Transformers is starting to kind of turn around after Bumblebee kind of pseudo rebooted the franchise. It kind of also played as a prequel to the Michael Bay films as well. But I kind of look at it as a restart to the franchise. It was a really good film. And then Rise of the Beast was a step in the right direction, I thought, as well. It wasn't perfect by any stretch. It wasn't as good as Bumblebee. But we've also got Transformers 1 coming out at the end of this year, which I'll get into in just a second. That also kind of ties into all this. But at the end of Rise of the Beast, you see here the Anthony Ramos character was recruited by G.I. Joe at the end of that film in the post credit scene, indicating that we could possibly get a team up film going forward. And it appears that's exactly where they're going to be going with this. And like the article said, we never got that team up in the animated world or the movie world just yet, but it makes a lot of sense because like even in the Transformers movies by Michael Bay, the Transformers collaborated with a lot of military in those films, so it makes sense for them to team up with the Joes to fight a common threat like Cobra or the Decepticons. So this could be great. As like I said, as a kid of the 90s, this could be absolutely outstanding to watch for somebody like me at my age, and even some young kids who love Transformers. Maybe never really been introduced to the GI Joe lore. They just got to do GI Joe correctly, and if you could get the original designs of like obviously they kind of went back to the G1 designs of the Transformers. If you could do that sort of thing with the GI Joe characters, actually make them out into their actual costumes, like Cobra Commander wearing the blue, and all this sort of stuff, and they all had different costumes and different characters and different personalities, and there are ways you could make this work if you actually put forth the effort and go with the actual designs of the comics and the animated shows from back in the day, and don't get like too realistic with it. I mean, go hokey with it. It's obviously a bit of a science fiction franchise here. Obviously it's not 100% real life for sure. But you again, just have some fun with it, and don't be oh, we gotta adapt it to the modern world, kind of like in X-Men 2000 when we had all the X-Men wearing black suits. Don't do that. Make it colorful, make it spontaneous, make it loud. Just make it pop off the screen, just like a comic book would. And if you do that, I think it could be very successful. And if that's the case, I'm looking forward to it. But along with the Paramount announcement of GI Joe Transformers crossover, we also got the first official logo for the upcoming animated prequel film, Transformers 1, which will be starring Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson in voice roles. Chris Hemsworth will be voicing Optimus Prime. But this movie, I believe it was described as an origins where Optimus Prime and Megatron are worker friends before learning how to transform all in breathtaking animation form. So yeah, this could be a lot of fun. Obviously, and the director, I believe, Josh Cooley also shared this image as well, indicating that we could be getting a trailer very soon. They did show a trailer for the CinemaCon audiences there, but it's not open to the public. But from all reports are stating that the first trailer for Transformers 1 could actually appear online April 18th, which would be next Thursday. So if that's the case, I will definitely be doing a reaction for it here on the channel as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And I think the Transformers franchise, like I said, is kind of on the right track. If they can continue to build off the success they've had over the last two films, and then going into this prequel film, kind of telling us the origins on Cybertron before things kind of went to pot. And hopefully we'll get to see the destruction of Cybertron. I think that would be great as well. But it might be even a little bit further back if they can't even transform yet. So we'll see where they go with it. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with it. But I'm actually kind of excited for Transformers for once in a while. The Michael Bay films just kind of, I mean, it was good after the first film. But anything after two was kind of garbage for me. The Mark Wahlberg stuff, no offense to Wahlberg, I think he did a great job with what he was given, but the movies themselves were not that good. Michael Bay, outside of a few films, in my opinion, it's mostly fireworks and action and not a whole lot of substance. But that's just my opinion. But what do you guys think? Are you guys looking forward to Transformers in GI Joe getting their first major crossover ever, let alone in comics or animated series? It's in a theatrical form. Also, what are your thoughts on Transformers One, the animated prequel coming out? Let me know what you guys think, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And until my next video, guys, take care and God bless.